Hello everyone, Clayton here at etrailer.com, and today we'll be taking a look at the TorkLift front tie downs for an in-bed camper. This is what it's going to look like installed. It just sticks out a little bit below our nerf bar. It really doesn't look too bad on here. In my opinion, it kind of adds to the look of the vehicle. But when we're not using our camper, we can completely take these out. These are going to be a steel construction, so they're going to hold up well over time. They're also going to have a black powder coat finish, which is going to resist rust and corrosion over time as well. We are going to have two holes for tie downs, so wherever our camper falls, we can make sure to get a really strong connection to the frame of our vehicle. Now I'll go ahead and get a measurement for you. From the ground to the bottom of our tie down here is a little over 11 inches. You just want to keep that in mind for ground clearance. And then if our camper does fall wider out, we can remove our pin here and then slide our arm out and reinstall our pin. So it's going to work with a lot of different campers and give us that adjustability that we need. And as I said, when we're not using our camper, we can't completely take the arm out. All we have to do is remove our pin, then we can pull our arm out and stick it in the back of our truck. And we're really not going to see too much of it underneath our nerf bar. And in terms of installation, these really aren't that bad to get on. It's just a few bolts, and we just have to finagle the frame bolt a little bit, but really it's not that bad. You can definitely do it at home. And speaking of installation, I'll walk you through how we got ours installed. To start our installation, we're going to be working right here under our chassis mount. We want to make sure our parking brake is not engaged. That way this line is nice and flexible. We're going to be working with this hole right here. We're going to be adding our small bolt with a star washer and a plate spacer. We're going to fish wire those into our frame. So we want to place our spacer over our fish wire, and then our washer, thread our bolt onto the coiled end of our fish wire. We can drop our bolt into the frame like so, along with everything else. Then might have to shake it around a little bit to get it to pull through. We'll pull our fish wire through like this. Now we can grab our bracket. We want to grab our fish wire, feed it through the middle hole in our bracket, then we'll lift it up. I do suggest grabbing an extra set of hands just to hold it there to make it a little bit easier when we are putting our or trying to thread our hardware into our bracket. Now with that extra set of hands, we can hold this bracket up, then remove our fish wire. You want to make sure to hold the bolt, that way it doesn't fall back into the frame. And we can add our flat washer, then our lock washer, and our hex nut. We can now grab a 19mm socket and tighten it down. Our kit is going to include this other bracket. We want to slide these teeth into the cutouts on our mounting bracket. Then we can take our long bolt with a flat washer on one side. We'll slide it through like so. We can now add our other bolt and a hex nut on the back side. Then again, we will have to come back and add more hardware. We're just doing this so that it can support itself, and it'll make it a little bit easier when we're adding that extra hardware. Our kit is going to include a little 2-inch black spacer. We're going to take this nut off and put it right here in the middle. That way it cinches up against our frame. And we put that other bolt in just to hold this bracket up and make it a little bit easier on ourselves. We'll slide that spacer in. Lift our bracket back up, like so. Push our bolt through. Then we'll be adding a flat washer, followed up by a lock washer, and then that hex nut. We'll be doing this to both bolts. We're now ready to come back and tighten it down the rest of the way. We're going to be using a 19mm socket and wrench. I do suggest tightening them kind of evenly just to make sure it seats properly. We're now ready to come back and torque everything down. All of our torque specs will be listed in our instructions. On our tie-down arm, there are going to be 2 holes, so we can adjust where our arm is going to land. So that's our inside hole, and that's our outside hole. We can now grab our retaining pin, slide that through, then add the clip on the back side. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the same process over on the passenger side. With our passenger side installed and all of our hardware torqued down, we're now ready to load up our bed camper and hit the road. That's going to do it for a look at the TorkLift camper tie downs on our 2015 Ram 3500.